everyone, Steven here, and today we're going to do a tech talk. Today's tech talk is on sleeping pads, and a sleeping pad is just anything that you're going to use to put on the ground, or in the car if you're car camping. A lot of people use them for backpacking or just regular tent camping. So I've got a few things to show you here. This is the very basic type of sleeping pad. It's a closed cell foam, and the reason why you want a sleeping pad is one, for insulation against the ground if it's cold out, or there's a lot of sticks and things like that. It keeps it a little more comfortable. So going back to this sleeping pad here, this is just a closed cell foam roll, and it's the basic type that you can get, probably the cheapest. And all it is just a little bit of foam here, and it's maybe about a 1/2 inch thick. It's going to help with that insulation and keep you a little comfortable. So I usually just roll this up, attach it either outside my backpack, or if I could fit it inside my backpacking pack, I'll do so. And once you get to your camp spot, you want to clear out some sticks or any other debris that might poke you. This is very resistant to punctures. If it does puncture through it, it's still usable. I've torn off pieces of mine. I even have mine taped up. So it's still very functional, and I take it from time to time. So once I find my spot, I like to put down a ground tarp just for extra security and to keep things a little cleaner. So I'll go ahead and unroll my pad. And there it is. It's pretty much ready to go. Once I put my sleeping bag over, I'm going to go to sleep right on top of it. And it's about the length of my body, so it works really well for me. So there it is, the basic type of sleeping roll. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next type that I have to show you guys. This is also a closed cell foam sleeping pad. It's made by Thermarest. It's called the Z-Lite. I found it at REI. And this one's just a little upgrade from that roll. It's a foldable type, which is really nice. It has multiple functions. I can take it to the campfire, use it as kind of like a little chair, keep me off of the ground, keep me comfortable, and you can make it whatever height you want. So I typically, when I get to camp, set down my ground tarp, fold this out, and again, this one's about the length that I need for my body. I'm about 5'10", and it's the regular model, so it works just right. Some people don't really like the full length and they want to travel a little lighter, so you can find some that are about half the length or a kid size, and just use that for your upper body, because it might not be too cold out and you just want some comfort and some warmth on your upper body. So that amount would work really well for you. And again, this does have closed cell phone, so it's fairly waterproof, and it also has a really good R value considering it's only maybe a 1/2 inch thick. So this is a really great purchase. I've used this for a long time, and if you want a good sleeping pad, this is a great buy. And then going up to some maybe more advanced sleeping pads, I have this one here. This one, you have to be very careful because it's only filled with air. It doesn't have any foam in it, but it provides a great R value, which is the insulation amount, and it's very comfortable. So this one, it just has a nozzle that I blow up with my mouth. It takes about 10 breaths of air to get it completely infilled. So it's fairly quick. And when you roll it up, it's only about this big. So excellent for ultralight backpacking, which means taking very minimal gear, and it fits really nicely in my backpack. I can stuff it in there. It doesn't have to be on the outside. It's protected from when I'm walking through sticks or debris. So here it is. This one's called the Climate. Well, that's the brand name, the Climate, and it's called the Static 5. I found this at a gear shop. A local gear shop often has it. You can find it at Costco, and they also make really wide ones if there's two people camping out with each other. So this one's really comfortable, and again, it's about the length of my body. So I definitely want to use a ground tarp on this because I don't want anything to poke it. If I do poke it and it has a hole, this does have a small patch kit inside that you can fix on the go or when you're camping. So again, this one works really nice, and it's about the length of my body. So it works perfect for me if I really want to do some light backpacking. And then going on to the next version I have, this is probably the most advanced type of sleeping pad I have. And again, you blow it up with just about 6 to 7 breaths of air, and it has some rails to keep you from moving around at night if you tend to move a lot. But the unique thing about this is it has some foam inside of it, so if it goes completely flat at night, I still have a little bit of insulation and a little bit of comfort. The only exception is it's a little bulkier to carry around in my backpack. So this is the size of this one that has the foam in it versus the smaller model. Cool. So those are the different types of sleeping pads. There's hundreds of different varieties you can choose from, but these are the basic type. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I usually use when I camp out or when I backpack. So when I'm backpacking, I typically carry a camp chair. This is nice because you could just sit by the campfires and have a really nice, relaxing time. Okay, so the great thing about this camp chair is it can open up and act as a sleeping pad itself. It's not the most comfortable, but it does provide you some insulation and some comfort. So when I get at night, when I'm about to go to sleep, I'll take this to the tent, unfold it, lay it down on top of my ground tarp, as well as put my sleeping pad on top of it. This provides me a little bit more protection from being punctured and a little more comfort insulation. So that's my typical setup. And then I'll just go ahead and put my sleeping bag right on top of it. This is just a really light sleeping bag, more for summertime. But there it is. And one thing to make myself a little more comfortable, I might put a sweater or some other clothes that I'm not going to be using at night in here, and it'll act as a pillow. There you go. So those are the different types of sleeping pads you can buy. There are some exceptions that you can use if you don't have one of these, but you still want some warmth and comfort. So if you look around and somehow you didn't pack a sleeping pad, or you're in an emergency situation, you can use pine needles or various other type of leaves or things around. I don't recommend this because you're actually maybe destroying a tree or killing some of the plants and animals around. But if you get enough of these, they will provide you with some insulation. But you have to use a lot. So those are some other things that you can use. Some people use really big mattresses, which are fine if you're car camping. So just look around. None of these are perfect, but I've tried a bunch of different types out, and I know what works for me. So if you want to just start out, those closed cell foams are really nice, which are these types right here, and they're basically bomb-proof. You can take it, you can tear them, you can fold them up, use them everywhere, and yeah, it's lasted me a really long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoy the car camping, backpacking, any type of camping you do this summer, and I hope you find a good sleeping pad that works for you. Bye.